I would like for us to be intentional about setting an anchor for us. We all got kids or loved ones that this foundation will be able to, they'll be able to benefit from. So that's the genesis of this, and I want to do this on a consistent basis, and we can decide if it's monthly, if it's quarterly. It's just not every once in a while. And I want us all to be intentional about our participation in it, because it doesn't work if we all aren't here. It doesn't work if we all don't voice our opinion, share our resource pool, blah, 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 blah. When I started thinking about this months and months ago, I said we should film it. We should film it partly from a standpoint of film it and put it on some media like YouTube, because I think it's important for folks to see Black men that are taking care of their business and their community's business. I really want to show that. I really want people to understand that we just ain't all what the media says we are, or what, other people say we are. See this forum on a regular basis where we go A to Z in terms of issues that we deal with, whether it's our woman, whether it's our work, whether it's that white boy at work, whether it's the dude that cut us off, financing, just how we deal with that and how we can close ranks to support each other in dealing with that. So Dalton is going to be here just filming our interaction and making sure and kind of archiving it so that we have something to look back. If you think about it, this nigga and hoop it up, he just got this archive of all these hoop it ups that he throws out. And I think that's a great idea, because you go back and you kind of forget things. Well, okay, I kind of forget things. And then I get a video clip from him. I was like, well, I'm a skinny man. Great. Yeah. So just stuff for our archives, for our kids' archives, for us going forward. The most important takeaway for me from this interaction and going forward is for us to intentionally commit to creating this community. We already call ourselves Black Genius. We already have that foundation. We already have that form. And I'm saying, let's start talking about how we go to the next level and put things to use that support us. It could be, the next, Ernest talks all the time about the next generation, Dalton's age, and how they find jobs and opportunities. I mean, that can also be, I know, that can also be.
Are you filming right now?
Because you got the camera pointing the wrong way. So, and that's my get off the stage. There's no, I originally thought about maybe we should have an agenda, have some questions, and I'm like, no, let's let it be free form. And I want us to each walk away from here with a sense of, God, I got some shit off my chest. Or damn, I heard that Miguel's going through the same shit I'm going through. Or we just go, this subject matter we're talking about, I said, motherfucker, we got to continue to talk about that because of the way it's affecting us. I don't expect us to go out. I mean, this isn't necessarily a therapist session where we're going to walk out with some answers. This is a session where we're going to say, hey, I'm committed. I'm just here to listen to what you have to say, Chris. I may not even have an answer, but I want you to know that you have a forum to be heard on those days where the shit just is stacked up against you. Because again, selfishly, I have a lot of those days. And I'll get a text or I'll text someone, but sometimes I just need to see y'all. I just need to be in the room and say, look at this fucking Black man. And walk out and be like, okay, there's nothing that can deter me from whatever path I'm on. So that's kind of it. And, I've talked to a couple of you about this, and you want to throw in your perspective on what this should be or could be, go ahead. But I just kind of want to level set us with that to start, and we can just go from there.
I think for you don't want to structure it. You want it to be kind of free form. You probably want to have a couple of topics in mind for each session, just in case. And then in case you get to a point of reaching impasse, and you just like throw in another topic. But there's so much. There's so much culture and creativity and experiences here. I don't really see it being an issue, but
I think when niggas start drinking,
oh yeah.
it's gonna come out.
Which brings to the next point. Profanity. Allowed. Okay, make it sure. Because you come and put it on YouTube and everything. I was Mark trying to attack with it. Okay, that's all I need to hear.
This is us.
That's all I need to hear.
I mean, can't say that this wasn't like this.
But is YouTube gonna say something?
No, I'm just making sure because here's what happens. If you put it on YouTube and it starts to get hits, then someone's gonna want to throw money behind it. Someone will say, hey, you have a concept, we want to bring it into this studio and do it under these circumstances. So
That's a good bridge to cross.
yeah.
So with that said, this has been on my mind for a couple of months now. I know at some point, I believe you trademark Black Jeans. We need to make sure that that's current and well and good.
I got it.
Because to that point, we start to incur hits, or if it, even if it's not that, even if it's something else in life. When people see our name in tournaments, I start to hear it more and more. And those of y'all that join this little fantasy league, y'all see the little thing on there. Newsweek did a little thing that said Black Jeans Matter. And that's what I cut that off of. So I just want to make sure, yeah, we good.
There's always a poor man's copyright too, because you can literally just punch up on a computer piece of paper, which just says, Black Jeans Organization, Black Jeans Social Organization, whatever you want to call it, and then just fold it up, put it in an envelope, and mail it to yourself. And then when it comes back, it'll have a federal stamp on it. Anytime anybody uses something after that, when you go to court, you give them a sealed envelope with that date on it, and you do all you have it first.
So how y'all doing, man? I'm on the left coast, on the right coast. So I'm down in the south. I don't see y'all.
You know what, man, to be honest, we all grown, we all got our busy lives. We don't talk about in depth of what's going on in our lives. We give y'all a poke and a smile. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, it's Wednesday, cheese, done. Hey, you call me every day, whatever. Hey, hi and bye, see you later, see you next weekend. But in depth, I think that's what's missing, because we all going through a whole lot and we just don't have enough time to get it out there. Now, I'm an active listener.
Figure out how to do that.
Because every household is different, number one. Number two, only you know when it's enough. Period. Right? Only you know, because when this shit start disturbing your household, you're like, okay, I gotta back the fuck up. Period. When you start losing sleep, the wife start looking at you like, okay, this is disturbing us.
Yeah.
Granted, it's your kid, it's my kid, or we blend, but this is disturbing everybody. Because if I put hands on you, guess what? I'm the only one that's going to jail. So who gonna help who then? Behind what? Only you know when it's enough. That's it. But everybody think they know it. They think we just parents. We ain't been to where the fuck they been. The only thing they can do is text and control their fucking phone. They can't even pay the motherfucker.
True
But it's our fault, because as men, we didn't want them to suffer. We didn't want them to want shit.
And they not hungry.
And now they're not listening to what the fuck we telling them, but they're hurting. There's some starving fucking students right now. As a friend looking from the outside in, the shit is fucked up because we know everybody kid. And you sitting here hurting my fucking friend because your ass is stupid enough not to fucking listen to a grown-ass person who's been there, done that, and still feeding your motherfucking, spoon-feeding your motherfucking ass.
Still on the books.
Thank you!
Still on the books.
But when something happens, guess what? You call it home.
Gonna suck a dick or something.
Alright? Don't cut off the fucking hand that feeds you, cause I guarantee you.
No.
Motherfuckers come knocking 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Let me back in.
Hey, what the old man said, leave the door unlocked. D, I will
Let
say
it go.
this, DeMarco, I will say
Let it
this
go.
because over the last few times that we like hung out, I seen you, you have a calmness about you. Like you don't. It is what it's gonna do. What it's gonna do.
What them grandbabies do?
I think
like-
it's more than the grandbaby.
Nah.
I mean, we chop it up a little bit, but it's
Yeah.
just you at peace, dude. That's a good place.
because I don't think none of this stuff matters anyway.
At the end of the day, it
If
don't.
you think about it, I can drop dead right now. Why me stressing about something I can't control?
True, man.
I can't do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm at peace with that. Okay. Yesterday I had an incident where I lost oxygen in my mask. I was inside of another suit Level A. with the SCBA on,
Yep.
dragging this dude off the unit, and the suit knocked my mask down, and you can't get out of this suit by yourself.
No.
Dude, I was losing air. I thought I was gonna die. Stop. Hey, hold up. Get me out of this suit. I had to stay composed. You know what I'm saying? Why stress over anything? It ain't worth it. But, believe me, I've been through the other stuff. You know that. I mean, I've been through a lot of stuff. Stressing, want to kick people's ass and do all this other stuff. But last night, I thought I was going to die. Not from the incident, but afterwards, I wasn't feeling right. And I was laying in bed and I thought I had like shortness of breath. I was like, so I had to go lay in the living room. It's just like, I'm just comfortable with this stuff now. I'm not on the other stuff. I'm on another page, so I might not be the best reference. But I just enjoy life. I appreciate life.
No, I think you're wrong. I think you
That was
are
a
the
fucking
best
damn
reference.
good
Yeah,
because
because
Fucking
you're
answer right
you,
there.
you are at a place that personally I'm trying to get to with respect to my kids. Other areas, I'm there with you. It's just it's almost like this kind of needs at me in the side, and it's just like, and I don't have a model. That's why I asked you that question. I listen to my daddy, so I just think that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when that's not replicated, I'm like, I don't know how to process that because it's not like I'm feeding you bullshit. And I'm not trying to dwell on it because I am to the point where I'm like, okay, let me fuck up. It's just managing my happiness from the standpoint of 9 out of 10 instances during the day, they happy instances. Then there's that 10th one when I think about, I ain't heard from this motherfucker in 2 months. Is she in a ditch? Is she in intensive care? Is she dead? And it's that one time that I just go, fuck. And it's hard for me to just go, if she in a ditch, she in a ditch. It's hard for me to do that consistently. Sometimes I'll be like, there's a bitch in a ditch.
The problem is, dude, I think what stings actually is that's not how the motherfucker was raised. And that's, you put forth an effort to raise them a certain way, you would just think. And I think we all seek this. Motherfucker just want to be respected. It's just disrespectful. And that's how I look at it when I'm dealing with Cheyenne on things. I'm telling you stuff, you don't want to listen. Okay, so you just basically saying, fuck you. If that's how you want to be, do you. If I relay, do you. What can I do?
You don't need me before I need
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
Yeah.
I have a thing right now where I just want you off my books. It's like a running joke, but I just want you off my books, baby. I was like, you can win the lottery, get $50 million. I don't need nothing. Just zero. I just want to zero you out of my book.
Shit.
Nah, you know what I'm saying though? But like I said, you know, hey, if you want to do that, but I don't. His daddy might my point is like, it's everybody at this table was big on respect. That's how we grew up. We grew up in the hood. You gotta give respect.
We all have kids here.
Yeah.
None of our kids turned out the way they want. They're not gonna turn out the way you want them to.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they're
I
not
just,
successful.
but you know what though? I just want you to be.
And you know what?
I just want you to
Because they
be.
didn't want to listen.
I'm not looking for them to
But
be.
you know what? It's their right.
But D,
They
I
don't
agree
have
with
to
you,
listen.
D.
That's a hard thing to do.
D,
You know what?
I
You know
agree.
what? And at the end of the day,
It's
you
a
know
big
what
ass
it is?
pill. Swallow it.
It's always been said that speak what you feel and say what you know what I mean? I don't have to respect what the fuck are you going through because you in my fucking house.
And there's rules.
I'm paying the fucking bill.
The house has rules.
That's right. And when you disobey my rules, guess what? You got to go.
Yeah.
There's only one adult, there's only one man in this damn house.
But that's not a problem.
Yeah, I agree with you now. But I'm saying, D, I'm not looking for. I don't have this vision of what I want my child to be. I just want her to be a fucking productive citizen.
That's it.
And
She
she
is a productive citizen.
has done that.
How productive are you when you still on my books?
She's not a productive
She on her way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Yeah.
I agree. But being a decent person or whatever she is, but like you said, that's the
y'all
problem.
on anybody's books.
I think
Okay.
I think part of it is our fault too. I know for
I've been
me.
on books for 30 years.
I know for me growing up, you know, for instance, my dad go carry that brick, walk down the street. Shit, I carry that brick struggling. Ain't it fucking help me? Then my kid comes along and I'm like, carry it. Nah, you know what, that brick's kind of heavy.
Yeah.
Let me help you out a little bit. Oh, your shit hurting? I'll carry that shit the rest of the way. I should have just had his ass carry the brick.
Because you remember what it
Yeah.
was like carrying a brick when you was a kid.
But there was a lesson in carrying a brick.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And therein lies the problem. Like Ern was talking about, you know, we raise our kids. We were examples for our kids. We provided guidelines for our kids. Society has raised our kids. And what we have done is we have enabled them, rightfully so in some cases, we have enabled them to be who they are today. When we was kids, just like Miguel was talking about, when we were coming up, we didn't have anything and our parents didn't give a shit. So we was hungry. And whatever we didn't have, we went and got.
Yeah.
Our kids,
Got it.
we tried to give them everything. And you know what it is? Now, when we look at them and go, well, what you ain't got, you gotta go get. They're like, they have a different mentality.
Right.
Whatever I don't got, you
Right.
don't give me.
Right.
And whatever you give me, this is the bitch. Whatever you don't give me, I just decide I don't need no more.
Right.
I don't need
Right.
it. My son don't know how to drive.
Right.
He's 18 years old.
Dude, that's a phenomenon to me.
How we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Why you driving at like 14?
Doug,
I
he
mean-
will tell you. I drove us to Little League. Am I lying? I drove us to Little League. We were driving ourselves to Little League.
And then motherfuckers don't want
We were driving no permit. We were driving like sitting on the phone book, putting the seat all the way out. So no, we couldn't wait to drive. I got my driver's license on my birthday, my 16th birthday. I got my driver's license then. But you know, it's funny.
Thank you.
We talked about.
Absolutely, that starts to touch your test.
And
Test is on.
Can everybody sign an NDA?
This plate is very hot, be careful.
That is by the way, that's excellent looking. Yeah, that looks perfect, by the way.
what y'all motherfuckers know about some goddamn bone marrow?
telling you.
Other than a motherfucker need a bone marrow transplant. Now y'all eating
It's
this.
really rich, and sometimes they feel like a mango chicken or something along the side. That's good shit.
Here's this.
I ain't hating. I appreciate.
Of course,
Good shit.
So how many of us left home before 18?
Oh shit, I was gone.
Am I right?
I was an emancipated minor at fucking 13. My mom was on drugs, man.
Yes. Taking care of your own self.
I was doing me. Thank you.
Yeah, and you know, I think we're all. Ern touched on something. We all are men that demand a certain degree of respect,
Right.
and I think that's true. But
What's that piece off here?
I want to try more tests. I want to see what
I'm listening, Kevin.
Yeah, I'm serious about that non-disclosure agreement thing. We good.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
got the tip of the day here for you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, dog, of course.
And we grab those.
I just keep my head down and do me, man.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I see everything that's going on. I don't agree with everything. I'm like that old lady, like, But I got my blinders on. I'm doing what I gotta do. That's it.
I'm just trying to live,
I'm
man.
focused on me.
Trying to live.
Because if I get deterred worrying about them, then we all gonna lose out. So that's all. That's my main priority. Take care of the house.
Here's the difference, though. We all like my son is in the room, and I'll say, and I've said it to his face. We were raised like you said.
Kevin, you know, if you call one of us and your son fuck up, your son is fucking running. Period. Because he know one of us, and if he hear me come down the street, I know his ass is gone.
Yeah.
Period.
It takes a
I ain't
bit.
fucking with dog.
But here's the thing, though.
He can get one. He ain't gonna kill you, but I'm gonna
But
get
he
you
the,
one.
he the only kid that we probably know that's not going to be disrespectful.
You're not gonna.
No, because that started early, and also he was the only one, so he got a ton of disciplinary attention early. It wasn't spread out. But here's the thing: we talk about our upbringing and how we all had it a little bit tougher than our kids, and it used to bother me because I wanted Dalton to have more of a chip on his shoulder, like I did. I wanted him to have that dog in him all the time, where when someone tried to deny him something, he was going to work 3 times as hard to get it now. You know what I mean? And I wanted him to be that kid. And there were times when I didn't understand it, when didn't seem like it was in him necessarily. Then I realized, and it was a hard thing for me to realize, as much as I'm like my dad, I'm not my dad. And as much as he's like me, he's not me.
Right.
The hard thing for me to realize was that that's not a bad thing. Because we come from different eras. My father had to be way tougher than me to deal with the shit that he dealt with.
That's
Now,
the thing. That's
yeah,
the thing we got.
my 80s level book, I mean, the shit my father dealt with, like Sam Yorty's police force, just beating niggas for no reason on the street and then daring you to say something about it.
So-
my shit in the 80s was light-skinned niggas with good hair. You know, that was my
This shit over here.
Let me get this out.
Everybody with the motherfucking joke.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference.
Green eyes.
While I did, yeah, exactly. But while I had that chip on my shoulder from having all those insecurities and overcoming all those insecurities, being a dark-skinned nigga with acne from Compton, having to have the bigger vocabulary to get more respect, having to know more things so I'd be more accepted. My son came up in a world where he was already more accepted, but he was still going to catch the shit. Here's the difference. My son, cutting weight for a wrestling tournament, had on sweats. And he's running in his own neighborhood, and police swarmed on him because someone called and said, hey, there's a black guy running there, but he's up to something. Who knows what they said? But there's probably some old white lady, and they sent 3 squad cars and a helicopter. Now, he gets hemmed up, all this stuff happens. At the end of it, he comes home, and I had heard the helicopter. I happened to be home that day. And I heard the helicopter.
Everything's tasting delicious so far.
Can you have that water bottle? Water.
Okay, sure. Gonna put me out of a job.
Okay.
Chip on my shoulder growing up, but I had that dog all the time, and I had that I'm going to take on the world if necessary. I don't care. No one's going to stop me from doing what I need to do. He didn't have that necessarily,
Yeah.
but he came back from that situation with a lot fewer emotional scars than I would.
Well, here's the thing.
So in the
Came
end,
back. That's the big thing.
well, exactly, and we've been through. We've all had police throw us against cars and knock our legs apart and put guns to our heads. Some of us.
I don't know about the gun.
I've had gun behind the ear, torn SPD, twice. So with
Well,
all that stuff going on, when I came back from those encounters with the police, I took all that shit personally. Because I was like, damn, I'm doing everything right. I'm a good student. I tuck my shirt in. My socks match my shirt. I'm doing all this shit right. I speak well. Everything you're supposed to do to not attract his attention. And then I still get it. And I still get it. So it used to really hurt me. He wasn't as hurt as I would have been by that same circumstance. And part of that is because he didn't have that chip on his shoulder. So that's when I had to kind of realize, okay, I get it now.
the thing we always give each other shit about is we the punk ass parents. We the ones that gave them this freedom to feel and think whatever the fuck they want to feel and think.
Yes.
Say what the I got a
They got an
12-year-old,
opinion.
that motherfucker got an opinion. I'm like,
About everything.
yeah, and I'm listening to it. I'm the punk ass parent. But one of the things that I think I try to recognize, man, is they ain't never gonna deal with the shit that we got.
Never. Hopefully.
Good for
It'll
them.
be different.
I mean,
Say you got it.
I don't know of a time where this little suburban black kid who don't know what a fucking wife beater is. Timmy don't know what a fucking wife beater is. Gotta ask a little white boy in his class what is a wife beater.
Did the white boy know?
Yeah.
Of course he does.
Follow him in.
He wants to be.
Because he from rural Georgia.
Wow. Is Maxwell in Georgia now?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he right down the street, dog.
Oh, really?
10 minutes away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. But he ain't gonna ever walk home from our Della B. Tibby Elementary School and come. He ain't gonna never have that experience.
No.
Go from
Hey,
a blood to a crip neighborhood
Yeah.
in a matter of a
He
block.
ain't gonna never have no pyro sitting on the bench in the park that you walking by and like, hey, bro, come here, let me holler at you.
You gotta shake the hand with
And you gotta make a decision.
Bomb,
Run,
yeah.
or do I go over
Hey,
there?
I like them cakes on you, nigga. Don't start walking fast.
He ain't never gonna need to have his head on. I mean, he should, but he ain't never experienced needing to have his head on a swivel.
Yeah.
And I gotta get over that because I'm thinking, nigga, you need to know where you at. You need to recognize your surroundings. You need to know where the exits are.
Yeah.
So,
Why, Daddy?
yeah.
You doing that for me?
Yeah.
Your head on the switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nigga, I'm enjoying this video game.
Hey man, so what do y'all
You
think
can
about?
have a white man that you know is armed. He just shot up a whole school. He shot up a mall, theater. You know he's armed. You know he's dangerous. You know he has a gun, and you arrest him.
Yep.
But you shoot the 15-year-old in the back 8 times because you think he has a gun. And that's what you're saying. That the most dangerous place for a black man is in a white man's imagination. And I think that's that's the thing that I'm concerned about for my son. It's not what he's going to do, but what he'll be perceived having done by people who are who don't understand him.
So I got a question. How you doing?
Me? Good.
Wow.
You know, you and I talked a couple months ago about a job opportunity I had, not all that dissimilar to yours. Somebody offered me a lot more money to switch companies, change positions, take on a whole lot of responsibility. I saw the advisements from some of my closest, and earn to tell you, I still quote Raul today. Like, you're gonna give that money to somebody. They tell you they want it to be you. You tell me why you don't want it to be you.
So you can have your job about 4 months. You can get that money somewhere.
Very much.
But I turned it down. I turned it down. Stay where I'm at. It's funny that we started off with the conversation we did, because the decision that I made is right here, right now. That money would do a lot for me. It really would. It would take me to another level. It's life changing money, but I'm gonna be unhappy. Right now, where I'm at, I'm covering my bills. I mean, just barely. Like probably most of us in the room, I'm handing them out. Shit, you take away one of my checks, we might not eat.
Right.
Right.
Especially in a bone man.
Nah, I ain't got no bone marrow. But I love where I'm at. I love the people that I work with. I'm learning, and
It's a healthy environment.
and I was just like, you know, where I am right now, that's just more important right now.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question though?
Yeah.
How do you know you're going to be unhappy at this particular field?
Because my brother ain't there.
Because
It's behind this woman.
it's
Oh, shit.
because
We We're gonna explore that later. don't think you just
I'm
do that
opening
shit.
That nigga got drinking you out. Hey, let the game begin. The juice
I don't know nothing about the position, nothing about the offer. I can probably tell you it probably involves some travel, being away from home, and he ain't ready for that right now. I can be totally wrong.
I'm really curious.
That's you knowing your nigga. That's what that is. That's you knowing your
What's
nigga.
his name?
You tell your story, see that?
Hey, take that back. Hey, we track that from the court document.
Dalton, we can correct that.
Edit it out, dog.
That's going up on YouTube.
Okay, yeah, right.
So, but to answer your question is, I've made this kind of jump before at one other point in my time, my career, and I moved into a position that I knew absolutely nothing about. Was so ignorant to it, I didn't even know. I wouldn't even ask questions because I didn't know what was a dumb question. I didn't know which question I would ask that would let them know this nigga don't belong here.
Right.
So I wouldn't ask any questions. And I had a sort of mentor in place to help me navigate. That was why I made the move in the first place. But that year was probably, for some other reason, but it was probably the worst year of my life. Hated it. It was just a horrible, horrible time. Now, 14, 15 years removed from that, I'm in a position to where I have the same opportunity. I'm going to switch companies. I'm going to go into a much larger company, City National Bank. I'm going to be in a position that I have no idea what the fuck they do or how they do it. I just got promoted to where I'm at now as a project manager. I'm learning this position. I'm 3-4 months in, and you're going to take me from this small private company to this huge public company and promote me to a person that is now managing 5 of me. I don't even know my position yet, and now I'm going to be managing 5.
It's a fine line, bro, because I stand by what I said to you. I mean, in terms of resources is a motherfucker. If you got access to resources, if they giving you shit that takes your life to another level, don't get that fucking money. But at the same time, you gotta manage that shit because the anxiety that comes from the level of stress that. Oh, I thought we
Oh shit, don't stop that flag. And the position that I was in, even though I report to this dude, I'm farmed out to another VP.
So too much chaos.
And so when I interviewed with her, which kind of shocked me because I was like, I've already been offered the position, and I get contacted by her assistant, say, can you come in for an interview with so-and-so? And I was like, hell yeah, I'll come in, no problem. I go in, we sit down, we talk. I thought it was because I go back and like, hey, you know, I'm supposed to meet with this person. And, oh, it's just a meet and greet. Okay. We sit down and it's a formal interview. I mean, she is firing rapid fire at me. So I go through the interview and I said, but at the end, I explained to her, look, I've already been offered the position and have tentatively accepted. And she was like, really? I was like, yeah. So they circled back, and they cleared it all up, yeah. She has no say in the hire. But for me, and this is exactly what I told them, I don't want to go into a position where I'm going to be working with someone who really, now, even though it may have been a good fit, I've been forced on her. That's going to cause conflict between
Her and I.
you know, thousands and thousands of dollars in the bank where, you know, I'm sitting fat like that, but I don't stress over nothing, especially money. That's not even, that ain't even gonna make the list of nothing. Like I'm hearing you guys talk about, Raul said, hey man, get that money. Hey, you know, it's just cool to get money. I'm getting some money right now. I feel that my health is my wealth. Fuck the money. Money, I'm gonna make some money.
Man. True that.
I'm gonna make money. Money, I'm gonna always make some money. I'm gonna always have something in me that's gonna get me out there, you know, to get some money. But as long as I got my health, I ain't gotta be walking around here like, oh shit, worried about having a heart attack, having a stroke.
Here, take my fries.
All this other shit that the doctor said. Man, I don't stress about none of that. None of that. I wake up every morning and be like, hey, see what kind of happy day this gonna be at the job. I don't like the hours that I work, but hey, I go up in there.
That is
I gotta
the
do.
key,
I come
man.
home.
That is the key. That is the key. That is the key, dude. What you doing, Reek? Just living, baby.
That's right.
How you doing today, Reek? I'm out here getting it. 6 o'clock. You up, youngster? I'm up, Reek. I'm up. Let's go get it.
I can't say I'm not always happy.
No, and it's hard to maintain that perspective.
We're human.
Yeah.
But listen, man.
I keep grinding though.
I have more fucking
nothing
good
wrong with
days.
grinding. Ain't
I have
nothing wrong
more good days in my life now than I have bad days. And
And
I
that's
know
how- and
I
I-
know what to do when I am having a bad day. I know what the fuck to do.
My boy Devin told me, he said, "There's something."
When have you had a bad day?
It's been a minute.
You've had bad moments, but if you
I had a car
have you ever
accident
had a
that fucked
bad
my
day?
day up.
Yeah.
I've had moments where it's just fucked up my whole day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that my car accident fucked up my whole day.
You had a car accident recently?
See? You didn't even know, right? See? And, but we boys.
I knew. Did you see the text? How I know about it? I seen a picture of it or something. I knew about this shit.
Where? In the trunk or?
In the truck.
Indeed.
Fucking Nissan.
You had an accident? You ain't tripping on this shit? Dog, hey, I'm hurt behind you.
got killed.
Yeah.
It's close.
Woo!
I'm hurt behind you.
I know, you told me.
So with those kind of incidents, let me I'm gonna go left a little bit. Ro asks me often, so all you guys know that, and it's this motherfucker's fault, that I had a heart attack. And I had open heart surgery,
You like, how's it your fault?
quadruple because you motherfucker, you told me to go get a 7-up.
Yep. Burp it out.
Hey, son,
I remember that shit. Oh, nigga, you already gotta go.
Playing basketball, and I'm sitting there, and we just sitting there chopping it up. I'm like, I don't feel right. How do you feel? Just don't feel right here. He was like, oh, you probably got acid in his chest. On your way home, we in San Pedro. I live in Fullerton. On your way home, stop at the 7-Eleven, get a 7-Up. You just need to burp it out.
Now, did I also check your pulse, palpate your blood pressure, and all that
That don't mean shit.
That ain't helping the story.
That don't mean shit because I ended up in the hospital and the motherfucker said, yeah, you just had a heart attack.
I wouldn't
Not
eat
the
pork
point.
rinds in the 70s.
I'm just fucking with you. Listen, Raul asks me all the time, after you came through your surgery from your heart attack, did that change anything? And I always say, same motherfucker, I had to change some regimes. Shit I ate, how I ate, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, it didn't change. And then the other day, he asked me that again. And we identified. I am probably the most emotional motherfucker at this table. And
Can you give us some of that? Thanks.
And Raul pointed out, look at your reaction to this, look at your reaction to this, look at your reaction to this, and we were talking about church, because I go to church, and when we are new people come to church, we do this little
Yeah,
ritual,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
you new,
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
yeah.
And our minister says this stuff, and I get emotional with us just welcoming new people to our church. I mean, I'm like, this shit, like, don't look at me, I'm in the corner crying over this bullshit, but it's like everything I am like hyper emotional about. And this motherfucker is like, that's the heart attack. That is the
I
change.
haven't seen this nigga cry this much ever in my life.
Ever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, I'm a punk. Cause I'm like, I'm not
I know what
asking
you're
for
saying.
your forgiveness. I'm saying that's how I feel. I feel like I can't manage this level of emotion that shit just draw. I see this nigga. And he was like, nigga, I ain't seen you in a month of Sunday. And I'm doing this shit again. Like, I understand the feeling of being grateful to see one of my good friends, but I don't know how to manage the emotion that's behind that. And I'm
Bro, stop trying to manage
Let
everything,
that shit
bro.
out, dude.
Stop trying to manage
I
and
don't
supervise
manage
the shit.
my
Just
fucking
let it go.
That changed me. I don't try to fight that shit off. I let that shit out.
I be dropping tears.
Hell motherfucking yeah.
Within the last 5 years, I noticed my emotions have changed. You know what I'm saying? Just like, I just started crying on shit. Just like, tears be coming down. What the fuck is going on? I'm listening to stories and different things and just like, God dang, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? It happens, bro. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Here's what it is. I mean,
I
you
don't
think
know
about it. How many of us shouldn't be here right now? When you really look back at it, how many of us shouldn't be here? How many of us have seen close friends or friends in high school? Like, one of the down things for me about Facebook is I lose 3 classmates a year. Easy. Every year, 3 motherfuckers just go. They die of an illness, an accident, something. But I kid you not, Cerritos High class of 81 loses 3 motherfuckers every year. And I would never know it if it wasn't for the fact that,
I live in water.
you know? But I would never know it if it wasn't for the fact. But that's true. I mean, I was, after his heart attack, when I was at his house for a week, yeah. There was a couple of times, doing the breathing stuff where he would,
I went out.
Yeah, because he couldn't get enough air to his,
Dang.
and luckily, when you're first responder, medically trained, you can kind of get it back. But I was with him when the little Asian doctor came out and told him basically he had 6 months to live. And the only reason that you had me there because in case there was some medical technology or medical technology that needed
You
to
say
be.
you got 6 months to live?
She literally, I kid you not, she came out and she said the diagnosis was, she goes, we had run some tests before and we thought we saw some spots in your pancreas and your liver, but we had to check. And then what we learned was, and she goes, and sometimes it can be bruising, sometimes it can be this, sometimes it can be that. Then she comes back and goes, okay, yeah, we've done the testing and yeah, it's what we feared. And she said, you have spots on your liver and you have spots in your pancreas, somewhere else like your kidneys or something.
Yeah, it was one
Yeah, and she said, well, first of all, it wasn't what it was. It was, but she said when you have them in these areas, it's consistent with it's been metastasized. Yeah, and she goes, it's more than likely pancreatic, and that has a survival rate of maybe 15%. She went through all the numbers and stuff. Yeah, so we're talking all that stuff, and the only thing we were both concerned about that time was, okay, what's the prognosis? And she goes, when we see this much spread, probably 4 to 6 months. And then after that, the next thing was, okay, well, we can get second opinions, correct? And she goes, yeah, and you're welcome to do that. But then her attitude after that was, but basically, we don't make these mistakes.
So it was a mistake.
It was a misdiagnosis.
Yeah, that was a misdiagnosis.
Yeah, it was misdiagnosis. Because there was bruising that created the spots on the MRI. But it was bruising over an area. And let's be honest, for the 9 out of 10 cases you see, it's what she thought.
Yeah,
This was that 10th case. But, you know, and then I had to make the text to you first, and then to get the word out. But I can say honestly that when I'm in help mode, I'm good, you know, because I'm functioning. It's like, you know, it's a kid. I know. As a first responder, medical, whatever, shit happens, you handle shit. Then it's a day later or something when you're by yourself. For me, it's helmet on a freeway, no one can see anything's happening, and that's when all that
On the airplane, airplane watching a movie, I'm watching some chick flick, and them motherfuckers was somebody died in the scene.
yeah.
I'm like, oh fuck. I'm surrounded by strangers, and I'm looking for Kleenexes and shit ain't nothing around, so I'm like this. And so on the airplane, though, it's just like that.
Yeah.
Oh my
You
God.
can't stop it.
You know,
It just comes.
Shit, I use that shit when I messed my hamstring up in Spokane. And I went to the booth. I used it. I was like, I'm crying already. You put all this stuff in here. You were like, you all right? It's just your hamstring. I'm like, we beyond that.
Just the beginning.
Yeah. No, but I mean, just as black men, and that's one of the things I draw from the strength of like this table. To be where we are, regardless of what that is, that's an accomplishment. This world is designed to get our chess pieces off the chessboard. They don't want us here. They don't want us to be. They don't want us to become kings. You know. So to be where we are and be calling check on motherfuckers, that's an achievement. By the same token, it was work. It was struggle. We talked about raising kids and stuff, and you know the hardest part I know for you and I particularly. We pride ourselves on being communicators and not being able to communicate what we think these kids should know. And in the end, it's like what you said. It's not about what we can tell them. Is we have to kind of let them go. All that stuff, the work stuff, the not being respected, the being assumed to be guilty, and all these things, all this stuff every day piled on. You should be able to see a coffee commercial. Where the dad pours the cup for the son or something, and it wells emotion. We should be able to express that. Unfortunately,
I need a couple of days to move some shit around from one account to another.
That shit go deeper than that, even in spirit. It was about 2 weeks ago, and I came out from, because I'm managing now, I got 4 people.
Yeah.
So I'm just finished talking to somebody, and I was like, I don't know if I handled that right. So I walked out, right? I was like, what would the motherfuckers say about me right now? What would these motherfuckers say? Turn my ass right back in. And redid the shit that's supposed to be done now. You know, it's because of the experience, man. It's just like, even when it's already, it's ingrained, dude. It's there. It's there.
yeah. Also, too, everybody here has, how can I say this? We all have different circumstances, and we all have different journeys. But every time I feel like I'm overwhelmed and I can't get that I'm having a tough time getting through that day. I'm bad at the calling thing, but I can think about one of you guys and go, that motherfucker came from all this heartache and stress and strife and trouble, bouncing around from the families, and you know the stories about your uncle and you know your mom, all the things. I'm thinking, damn, put my skirt up and get back in this fight.
Step into the room.
You know, I'm gonna have to get better at the calling stuff, but it's not that I don't think about you guys. Every now and then.
On Wednesday.
Yeah.
Hey, you call us every Wednesday. You good. Your call quota is good.
Hey, he can be sick all he wants.
Rico told me that. When I told Rico I was sick, Rick said,
What the fuck is wrong with his fingers?
I said, Rick, you got a good.
Hey, but he doubled
doubled up next week.
No.
He doubled up. That's my dad. He doubled up next week.
He doubled up, and so did I.
But no, but like I'll do something like it'll be random. Like for you, for instance.
I'm gonna go to the grocery store.
But I could be thinking about parenting or something, and then for me it'll be like a random post or something. I'll post it on Facebook. But like I'll do something like I'll put something about like fathers I respect, and I may not have talked to you in 3 or 4 months, but it doesn't mean you haven't been on my mind. So I tap it out in a post or something.
Listen, dog. So, like, 10 years ago, I left the place I ain't never, ever left. So, I moved to another state.
Mm-hmm.
I do not know one single other motherfucker there that I didn't know. I mean, I don't even count Dennis because we moved there at the same time.
Mm.
But I don't know another human being outside the bitches that...
I was about to say.
I mean, they don't count.
Yeah,
It's true, because you know a whole lot of
Yeah.
I mean, but dude, no. My network is here.
yeah.
Dog, and it doesn't change.
They different.
Ever. Yeah,
Outside is different. It ain't the same.
Dude, so my counter to that is I'm 180 degrees opposite. I moved around and I go to create those communities where I go. But my filter is, if you my friend, you gotta be like my friends. I'm just not showing up to create friends. You gotta have Rico's personality. You gotta have DeMarco's personality. You gotta have Kevin's personality. Else, I can't call you a friend or a resource because that foundation is tried and true.
Trust him.
I don't even need that effort.
And I do that because I do the whole, I'm gonna go here. Some of y'all know, last 6 months before I got here, I was in fucking Connecticut. That is the whitest fucking state in the country. And I remember when I told Kevin, I'm moving to, he goes, you moving fucking where? And I'm like, I'm not scared. He goes, no, I know you're not scared, but fuck, is that a choice? I was like, nigga, I need a job. Okay, and that's what a job is. But being there, I couldn't cultivate any friendships because that's just a different part of the country. I don't know if anybody's ever been. That's just a different fucking part of the country. There's some Quaker motherfuckers there that are just
They left.
Ooh, that's different. But I drew on this. I still got the calls from these two motherfuckers. This nigga, how you dealing with them CACs? I know they own you, and they're a different breed. I'm like, ooh, it's an uphill battle, Johnson. But my strength, like Kevin said, it came from y'all. And I've said this all along. I said this years ago when we had the thing at Travis's place. I feel ultimate confidence to step into the roar any place on this fucking planet. And I've done that. I've been on foreign soil out at 2 o'clock in the morning by my damn self, not because I'm looking for harm, because I'm not scared. And a motherfucker that's gonna approach me, I'm gonna hold him off till the cavalry comes. And I raise my children that way. I raise my children to say, look, if your daddy is in a battle, call these two motherfuckers first. If your daddy's in a battle, call them. Because like Kevin said, they're not gonna ask why is he fighting, what's he do? They just gonna mount up and they gonna be there. And my wife and my kids, it took me a period of time to get them to understand that. Well, why would they just come?
Well, they're not gonna understand. Yeah. I don't think anybody would. That hasn't had the level of experiences with one another that we've had.
And just to throw a little comedic in, my youngest daughter will say, well, why wouldn't I call Uncle Kevin? I said, because if I'm in a battle, Uncle Kevin is going to try to negotiate his way out the battle. These two motherfuckers ain't gonna do that. They gonna show up and see Roth is in a battle, and they gonna end the fucking battle. They gonna end the fucking battle.
Then you call Kevin and tell him to fix that shit.
Now show him your ass.
Now show him your dad. Change that shit.
And you guys do not realize how much confidence as a man that gives me. I am not fucking scared of anybody or anything because of y'all motherfuckers. Because I'm like, I think I can take you one-on-one. I think if it's two of y'all, I'm gonna hold you off.
I'm still betting on me.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if it's 3-4 of y'all, okay.
Okay.
So I gotta tell you about my Vegas experience last week.
Last week?
Last week.
7.
So I
And
was
you
in
have the whole
Vegas.
roses, right? Okay, so 6 would be key.
Walking through the mall, and Bridget sat down. My sister-in-law sat down, and the two come out of nowhere and they whispered some shit. And I looked at
To them?
yeah. So I looked at the ladies, and they looked at each other like I go from 0 to 100. Brother-in-law next to me pushed his ass out the way. What the fuck you say to my wife? Brother-in-law tried to grab, pushed his ass all the way in the window. I got to this man so goddamn quick. I said, brother, I wasn't trying to disrespect, no nothing. I said, but you said something to my wife. Yeah, man. Police, security come. Yeah, brother, you okay? I'm good. Check him. Period. Don't touch me at all.
The gene does pass down.
Yeah, tell me that one.
Man.
Yeah.
Tell me that one.
Dalton and I were shooting at a basketball court. Just me and him was out at when it was before one of the tournaments. And we were out shooting late. It was because lights were off on the court. And this homeless dude comes on the court. There's only one way in, one way out. And it's the gate. He comes in the gate and starts talking shit. And I was like, you don't want to be hurt. I ain't trying to hurt you. You don't want to be hurt. You really should step on back out of there because it's just me and my son here. I'm uneasy, And he came in, so I closed the distance on him. Now I'm checking out. He got a photo vest on, a safari vest. He got his hands in his pocket. So I'm doing all the assessment now. Okay, what's in the right hand? What's in the left hand? How's he standing? So on and so forth. I'm not taking him down. And I told him, I said, look, Doug, you need to get out of here because you're making me uneasy. We're minding our own business. You need to mind yours, or I can remove you. Dalton had flanked him. I looked over, and before I could say something, Dalton said, let me do it. And I went,
Marco, now put it in brown papa moments.
I had that Denzel blowjob. I said, Lord, Lord, Lord.
That's crazy.
Oh, man.
Don't have the patience no more, man. There's no tolerance.
No. That's the downside, John. This is the good thing, is that God has, it's kind of cruel that God has given me less patience and allowed me to get in this kind of shape at the same time. Because it kind of meters. Because I am much shorter patience, but I can't get in a long fight right now.
You ain't trying to do no time.
No, it's got to be quick. If you get close up here, I can get that hook in.
Always be kill that bug.
Oh, yeah.
Kill that bug.
I get the two knuckles on the chin now, but I ain't trying to go top game and we trying to scramble. Nah, I'm not trying to do all that now.
That's crazy.
That's what I'm talking about.
Ain't never known that.
Yeah, go on.
Like, Ice Cube, we got a problem?
What's up, dog? How the boys?
They level out to about 50%. About 50. No, they doing fine, man. They good.
Tyler carried the load.
Hey, man, Marcus
Marcus is a happy dude, man. He ain't never had a bad day, so
That's
respect him
good.
for that, man.
That's a beautiful thing. So sometimes we stress over, like you said, we stress over the wrong shit.
Yeah.
Any cat could be on Instagram with
Hearts
flowers
and
and hearts and Lucky Charms and a little cat nose and smiling.
Oh, that's Marcus.
Oh,
Oh,
man, Mark is a happy dude. That's
I
my
don't know
dude.
about all right. All that shit. But do you, man? Do you? Shit, that's what I was gonna ask y'all. Probably gotta be Travis though, man. Like, my youngster is close, man. I want somebody to take care of his money. Ain't no guarantees, but he close.
Cheers.
He close.
Hey, again, pool our resources.
I can't just have no strange motherfucker taking care of his money.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I get it. And that's gonna be some money.
Shit, I got a house right next to Travis. Shit. Pool and motherfucker. Let me call it motherfucker. Shit.
Shit, y'all
Hey man, that motherfucker is a resort.
Man,
This ain't lying, lovely thing.
Shit.
I was in the pool from 10 in the morning to 7, 8 in the
You
morning.
been down there? You been down there?
Dude, that motherfucker.
I drove down there.
Did you?
Casa de, what you call it?
That's Casa de Watson.
The pool
Oh,
don't even
Watson
your fingers
Beer.
wrinkled or nothing.
Special water for that.
Yeah, the Marcus said, so water and shit.
You know, he got the swim up bar and everything.
Yeah,
All
the
you
stool's in the water.
They're sitting there just watching Sports Center all goddamn day. I see, you know, it's like, man, we
Waterfalls,
cool about 11 hours.
and shit, you know what I'm saying?
That's what the next get together needs to be then.
Oh,
Travis is like, shit, I got to fight. Like, he up the street.
Yeah, dude. Dude, that shit had me crying.
He don't understand. Yeah. We barely made it when you was Orange County. How many people been on together house? He said I'm getting my everybody for the What you need me to bring, Trav? You got ice on milk. Fucking with you. Hey, it wasn't loud.
It's a 50-minute flight, though.
That drive ain't close. Shit.
I ain't never driving down there again. Hell, I'm flying
That
though.
That's a
drive-
50
I mean, you
minute
drive like that.
line. 5
Fly,
hours, 5.5
and then
hours.
you go Uber to his house for $35.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Perfect. That's a 50-minute flight.
I'm going there for the fight.
See?
Are you really? There you go.
I'm
Which
flying
airport
in,
you going
flying
in?
in Thursday night.
Which airport you going to? The
Phoenix.
big one or the little one?
I'm going to Phoenix
Fly out,
International.
you fly
There's
out.
another one like close to his house. That little airport.
Yeah, I'm not
That's
flying.
like-
That's the Air Force base.
That
I'm not
airport
flying in
is
that.
bad,
Oh, that's an
You
Air
gotta be in the damn jet to get in now.
He was like, yeah, you can fly in. I was like,
Yeah, shit.
Hey, that's a ticket, man. I
That,
want to go bad, but I'm working.
That's another thing, man.
I'm going to Vegas next
that's the only. I'll tell you what. That's
You
the
going
only.
Vegas.
That's the only place I'll fly on Spirit. It's only 50 minutes.
I ain't never flying Spirit.
Dude.
You damn near gotta stand up. You fly.
You know,
You gotta stand up.
Can I get some water?
Y'all don't even get water.
I flew Spirit. They went in my bag, stole 2 brand new pairs of J's, and I had my Apple Watch like a fool, put it in my check bag because I had another watch. They emptied out my shit. I go to security, they like, how you know we stole it? I said, this some motherfucker. Shit. This some hood shit. This fucking soul plane shit.
That's how Spirit is. Like, the ticket is like $50. Oh man, I'm on it. But it's another $50 to board the plane.
Yeah,
Oh, extra $25 if you want a seat.
Yeah. They always late.
They charge for everything.
you be doing this. You turn the air on.
Don't know. I'm sorry, sir.
That's $1.25.
You gotta swipe your card for that.
That's $1.25 mil. I'm sorry.
I mean,
Well, are you gonna
that's
breathe
right,
regular air?
right.
Then you have a special. No, bitch, I ain't gonna breathe.
Right.
No.
That shit.
I don't
No,
give a
bitch,
fuck.
every.
I pay.
Never fly that shit.
And then you know another thing. You ever see like the? You ever
It's
see like the?
late. It was late every time, everywhere I landed. Way back. Late.
You ever seen the? You ever seen the diagram of a slave ship
Like a
too?
miner?
That's the seat you chart on
Yeah.
Spirit.
The
Yeah.
minor-
Cause you like this. You like this.
That's
And
what I'm saying.
the seats don't
Dude, the
recline.
seat don't
There's no armrest. So you get above 220, 230, don't fly Spirit. Cause you can be sitting next to another big motherfucker, y'all can be like this. I'm I'm telling you, it's a slave ship. If I was a slave and they said you'll be free, but you gotta fly spirit to get out, I'd be like, you know what?
Yeah, nah.
I'm good, dog.
I'm gonna ride this out.
I'm good. Y'all fucking up my schedule. I got cotton picking lunch.
Three more years of this, and I'm making up to the big house. Yeah, I'm gonna stick this one
So
out.
how did everything go for you with the writing?
You know, I'm glad you asked because the other shit is not going as well. I left Irv Seaver in Orange County because the motorcycle industry is actually changing quite a bit, and Irv Seaver wasn't really changing with it. So it's production-based business. If you ain't selling, you ain't making. So I left there and went to Burbank because Burbank BMW is a new dealer there, Progressive, and they're only 2 years old, so they're slow to start. But it put me in Hollywood. It put me in Burbank where all the studios are. The customers that come in, everybody works for the studios or does something for the studio. So my networking game has gone way up, and I've had way more opportunities on that. So it's like that, like you talking about the side hustle thing. I'm hoping that it eventually supersedes the bread and butter, which is the motorcycle business, and that's where I am right now. But no, I mean I did that. Which way? You know what? Any of you motherfuckers not see monogamy? Any of you motherfuckers I don't like anymore that didn't see monogamy? Who didn't see monogamy? Nobody.
I think I tried to download it. It didn't work.
I had to switch money from one account to the other.
But after monogamy, I started getting some other opportunities. I did a thing for the Win Network recently. I just found out a couple of days ago I'm going to write a script for Christopher Nolan with Dion Cole and Vivica Fox and a couple other people.
Oh, yeah?
So that stuff is picking up. Here's the downside to that stuff. It's primarily smaller budget, you know, black films that usually film in either Chicago or Atlanta, sometimes out here. And the problem, unfortunately, is they don't pay like Hallmark movies do. And I say they don't pay the money and they don't pay it on time. You know, you end up working
Be
too
like
hard.
Aretha Franklin. I ain't going on stage till I get my money.
Yeah.
Pay cash. Pay me in cash.
You want to say it up front. But like the dude from Monogamy, the director from Monogamy, yeah, he was, you know, he paid me right up front. In fact, he overpaid me at one point by a couple of grand. I had to tell him, I was like, I think you went outside your contract. And he was like, well, just put cash.
I'm gonna finish this off.
Yeah, black production is tough. And I hate to say that, but it's unfortunately true. You end up doing too much work for not enough money, or they promise you stuff up front. Well, if you just get this to us quick.
Why they can't get their stuff put out on Netflix?
Well, they do. Netflix, Amazon Prime, all those. Yeah, Hulu.
Netflix is hot right now.
Yeah, it is. And also,
they can get on that, man.
well, the beauty now is that we can tell our stories. There are a lot of black stories out there. I mean, Atlanta never would have been a studio. You know what I mean? That show.
But it's a lot of shows.
It's
It's a lot of
huge
movies
now.
on Netflix that, you know, they were small movies.
Yeah.
And movies and
There's so many channels out now that there were movies that were produced in Atlanta in like 2010, 2012, and now these new networks are buying that old product. And then once that product gets reshown, people go, oh, that was good. You know, is there another one of these? And now the directing team comes and goes, shit, we need something quick, make another one of these. And that's where someone like me can get work because I work fast, and you know, and the money isn't as big as it could be. But if I build up enough credits, then eventually you start to get the bigger networks, and then that's bigger money. It's like Hallmark pays $25,000, $30,000 for an hour feature. So you get a Hallmark deal, you can do 2 of those, 3 of those in a year.
Yeah.
That's like, you know, a nice little side. But here's the thing, that takes me 3 days to do. Where it takes the average writer like weeks and rewrites and so on and so forth. I can sit down and knock it out and be done in 3 days. But black productions, they'll do the same thing, and then you go, you know, well, you need 3 weeks, we're gonna give you 3 weeks, meet these deadlines. Then 2 days later, I'm going, here you go. And they're like, fuck, well, can you rewrite it? Read it, see what you think. They're like, no, this is great. Okay, well, just pay me up front, then when you need something else, let me know. And then 3-4 weeks later, they still haven't paid you for this shit that they admitted is way better than the stuff they got before, and you got it in early. It is. It's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. And it's frustrating. But it's where I want to be to a degree because I want to tell our stories. I want to tell, you know, I wrote a story where the male lead was a aerospace engineer. Okay, my best friend's an aerospace engineer.
Does that nigga crying all the time?
That's in the rewrite.
That's an act two.
I don't be crying like that. I ain't never cried. Fuck this. That ain't me.
But the people were telling me that it's not believable because no one would buy the idea that your black lead is an aerospace engineer. Have the white guy be an aerospace engineer and give him a cool black sidekick. You know, someone who works in the mailroom or some shit like that. And unfortunately, that's what Hollywood, big Hollywood, buys. So my choice is sell out.
That ain't what we want to see.
Well, exactly. So I can make that for Christopher Nolan, director in Chicago. He'll have a $1 million budget, which is nothing. He'll have a $1 million budget and can pay me $4 or $5 grand, and I can give him the same story, but it'll get told. You know, so and it'll get told the way I want to tell it.
Right.
So that's the dichotomy right now. But no, thanks for asking. The writing stuff is picking up.
Shit, tell 20 stories, kid. That's how you do it.
But that's what I'm gonna do. I'm a
Tell
carpet bomb these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But I still gotta get paid. I mean, the downside is you do end up doing favors for people that you are trusting to help you get your stories out there, and they're not being professional. And it's frustrating.
I still think you're a better fighter.
You gotta find the right.
Jokes though.
Y'all got room for dessert. That's how 200 pounders do, huh?
Definitely gonna work that off tomorrow.
I'm telling you, Doc, that's a great piece.
Y'all go ahead.
Yeah.
Eat that, huh? You gotta go eat it.
Yeah.
So how do we want to summarize?
We need to train our health for the future.
Yeah.
We need to.
That's what
No,
it's
we got like
What's that you got?
That's what it's
We'll talk to her.
We'll put like something.
Oh, that's an apple fritter.
Like you said, well,
That is a bougie looking apple fritter, man.
yeah, they version of it.
Oh, they
This
said
is the conditions who's ever, hey, we're gonna be doing it. Come in and first get our drink orders, then don't come back. We'll signal, walk by and we'll signal you when we want you to come in. But this in and out shit, it's like,
Well, that's what they're used to. I agree.
that's why I said let's condition them.
Yeah, man, I agree.
Rape you drinking? What?
Francis Ford Coppola, they give apple spirit shot.
So
This is
actually,
called a habiki? What
to
you
go,
call it?
to go on top of that,
Habiki.
H-A-B-I-K.
Habiki.
General, 5-star general speak.
Habiki.
Them niggas got liquor in them, man. They got liquor in them.
Right. At first he was like, my
Talking all calm.
I'm in a different place now. I'm in a place of sin.
There you go, football,
Brother Malcolm coming in.
Hey, Paul, who's that, Paul? Hey, Paul, who's that, Paul?
Oh, you killing me, dude.
I want you to believe this.
Brother Malcolm.
can we just take a minute and I just want to pray for you. Can we just do that? Father, thank you for this day, and thank you for the opportunity to assemble with these extraordinary men. I want you to bless these men as we go out and we do our thing. I want you to put in these men and let them know that they're not only blessed, but they are the blessing. We are the blessing. And I want you to, Lord, thank us or bless us with all of the fruits of your bounty. When we're down, when we're up, just bless us and help us get through to the next phase. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Man, you're extraordinary gentlemen now. You make moves.
So, how them bitches treat you?
We gonna go from prayer to bitches.
I figured that was the right time.
Yes.
Nah,
Now
we-
Steve Harvey said, now we got that out.
I mean, in a loving way. I mean, you know.
My woman good.
Yeah.
My woman good. We empty nesting. Shit, we
we this close to becoming full-time RVers. Just like
You gotta be on the road, huh?
Well, not even on the road right now. Just I still work, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of places around that you can stay
Yeah.
at for dirt cheap.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Wow.
shit, we
Considering that
Look,
shit.
$300-400 a month.
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
At that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going out to our campground. We're going to get my RV tomorrow, but we'll be upgrading. I need some bigger shit.
I remember when first you got rid of your shit, then you
Yeah.
got your shit back. Now you
Yeah.
going on the upgrade.
I'm gonna go.
You get
I'm
some,
gonna go big.
some of your daddy shit now.
Yeah, you get some shit with Iron.
This is a nice smooth drink right here.
Right here. Right here. Black jeans for life. Jeans for life.